got trouble? How much trouble? Well, now, don't you bow. Just knuckle down and knock on wood. Who's unhappy? How unhappy? Uh-oh, that won't do. When you are blue, just knock on wood. Who's unlucky? How unlucky? But your luck will change if you arrange to knock on wood. Who's got nothing? How much nothing? Said nothing's not an awful lot, but knock on wood.
The name Casablanca has meant the same since 1943 as the movie that became a classic. Everybody wants to see the bazaar where Ingrid Bergman was shopping, and the cafe of Rick, played by Humphrey Bogart. Those who approach the city from this point of view will be disappointed. The atmosphere of the film is much more tangible in Marrakech or Fez. Casablanca is the biggest city not only of Morocco, but the entire North African region. It's a busy and noisy port and industrial city. Its Medina was mostly devastated by the earthquake in 1755. What was left is not very big, but it creates an interesting contrast with the modern metropolis. The name of the city was probably given after the government palace. Casa Blanca means white house. While every house in Marrakech is brick red, and the houses of Fez are ochre yellow, in Casablanca almost every building is white. According to this, the houses of the old town are whitewashed, together with the arches above the narrow little streets. Of course, there is a royal district here also, the Mechawar. The fascinating building of the prefecture is the characteristic example of Arab and ornamental architecture. Although this is an official building, in many similar old palaces, places for accommodation were furnished. These are the so-called riads, the equivalent of Spanish paradors or Portuguese posadas. The furnishings mostly consist of original furniture, and they only make allowances for the expectations of the age with regard to the bathrooms. The city can boast of relatively few sights, especially since we look for Rick's Cafe in vain. However, in the modern Sheraton Hotel there is a Casablanca bar, which is made intimate by the photos and posters of the film. Moreover, we can buy T-shirts portraying Ingrid Bergman and Humphrey Bogart, and in the evenings, Sam plays it again on the synthesizer. Besides the old mosques, the Moulay Youssef and the Mohammed V, there are two Christian churches as remembrances of the French Protectorate, the Notre Dame de Lourdes and the Sacré-Cœur Cathedral. After the big earthquake, the Portuguese residents left the city that they called Casablanca. At this time, Sultan Mohammed bin Abdallah had Berbers settled here and established a flourishing trading city. He founded mosques, baths, and Quran schools. The busy Mohammed V Square is the center of the modern city. The building of the city hall, with its 50-meter-high tower, stands in the southern part. In the eastern side, we can find the white block of the Moor-style Palace of Justice, decorated with green majolica. On the northern side is the archaic building of the main post office. There's also the police office, the French consulate, with the equestrian statue of Marshal Leote. This is the only statue in Morocco, since Islam forbids the portrayal of people. The basis of the economy of the city is the port, the traffic of which exceeded that of Tangier and Rabat even back in 1856. In 1907, the French provoked a riot here, which finally led to the occupation of Morocco. The throne of Allah is over the water, says the Quran. The father of the present ruler, King Hassan II, wanted to put this idea into practice when he entrusted the French Michel Pinceau with designing the most monumental mosque of the country. The basis was given by the rocky peninsula reaching into the sea, and it was supplemented and fortified to hold the 9,000 square meters of building complex, with a minaret of 210 meters. The declared cost of the construction was, in the early 90s, $800 million. The maintenance costs are also very high, which is not covered by the admission fee of 100 dirhams per person. According to the Moroccan opposition, this exorbitant sum should have been used for other, more important purposes. With a foreigner's eye, it definitely looks as though the infrastructural developments, the reservoirs, the environment protection, the development of healthcare, and the creation of new jobs should have been of much greater importance. However, don't forget that we're talking about an Islamic country where religion is a defining element of the everyday lives of people. Anyhow, Hassan II erected a lasting monument for himself and the royal family of Alawita. The building, which was opened in 1993, mirrors the technical level of the end of the 20th century, and to its credit, it does it so that we may think the building, guarding Islamic traditions, is centuries older than what it really is. For instance, the visitors don't know that the large chandeliers are lowered by electric engines for cleaning, that the muezzin goes up to the dizzying high tower by speed elevator, and that the lace decorations of the pillars hide high-tech speakers. The ornamental decorations of the interior, the stalactites, were made by mixing gypsum and egg whites. 35,000 people worked on them over a period of 7 years. The interior of the mosque can hold 25,000 men, while on the balconies 5,000 women can pray. This separation has strictly practical reasons. If the space of a mosque doesn't allow this, then women may only kneel in the back rows, because if they were in the front, bowing, it would supposedly evoke ideas in men not appropriate for prayers. In the buildings surrounding the mosque Islamic library, conference rooms and religious schools function. On the square closed by the wings of the buildings, 80,000 believers may sing the praise of Allah simultaneously. Since the believers don't come here on camels anymore, there's an underground parking place under the square. In the below stairs, there's also a bath, which mostly serves the purposes of ritual cleansing. The 5 main pillars of faith, to which we are reminded by the 5-pointed star of the Moroccan flag, are the following: faith, prayer, fasting, charity, and pilgrimage. To remind to the obligation of pilgrimage, from the top of the minaret a laser ray of light, visible from a distance of 30 kilometers, shows the direction to Mecca.